Hello and welcome to Shannon Gardens. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So today we are doing some small space gardening, and actually it's in our whimsical garden, which used to be our children's garden, so it's kind of a cross between both. We started it as a project for my daughter and I when she was younger, so that she would have her space to pick out flowers that she wanted in the garden and really tailor it more to what she wanted. Now she is no longer a child, but it's something that we continue to do every year, and it's become kind of a whimsical area where we have little objects that we've collected over the years together that we put in there. So I did want to say too and point out that this garden is probably one of the only shaded areas we have in our yard, whereas mostly shade. So you will see some plants that we picked out specifically for that type of gardening. It does get some late afternoon sun, so we tend to put the plants that can handle that sun in the front, and then more of the shade tolerant plants in the back behind that. We also choose flowers that are brighter in color so that we can brighten up that space because it is in the shade so much of the day. I also will show you toward the end of the video how it looks at night, as we've done some different lighting in that area as well. So thank you guys for coming along with us, and let's get started planting. So here we are at the little space that we're planting today, and as you can see, we have a bistro set that we painted in the back, and we chose a bright blue color just to brighten up this space again. And these are the flowers that my daughter and I picked out to plant in her space. We have some overgrown honeysuckle vines that we'll need to trim back. And then these are existing perennial plants that we have here. We have a hydrangea tucked behind here that's just starting to bloom. And as I mentioned before, we have a lot of cute little knickknacks that we've collected over the years. We have this little frog hanging out on this brick, and some things are just perhaps broken pieces of pottery or rocks that we've just picked up in special places that we've noticed, and we wanted to bring it home because it's special to us and place it in her garden. We've got these little butterflies, and I believe we have this in the back, which I believe we got from the Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina. And then, like I mentioned, tonight I will show you how the garden looks in the evening. And this turns on windy days as well. It's really cute. One helpful hint to you guys that I do before I put on my gloves before gardening, I make sure to step on them pretty hard so that if there are any spiders or any bugs in there, I am hopefully killing them before I put my hands in there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is trim this monster of a vine. It has gotten out of control, and so I think the best thing to do is to trim this back and as much as we want to, and kind of keep it contained, and then we will be able to plant from there and kind of plan our space a little bit better. So what we have are sun patients, and these do well in the sun or the shade, and see how brightly colored they are. So this is going to look really nice. Because they're shorter and they're tolerant of the sun, we'll probably put those more toward the front. So I'll just put them here for now.
What are these called?
Dahlias. And these are also good in the sun. We got a brightly colored one again. We'll put that more toward the front. Now we have some salvia here that we had planted, just transplanted last year to see how well it would do. And there is a little sprig coming up, so I think we're gonna leave that and see if it will bloom this summer.
I know these attract hummingbirds.
Oh,
I don't know what they're called.
I think it's a bellflower. Oh wait, no.
What's a bee?
No, the other one is a bellflower. This is salvia as well. and it has this pretty purple bloom and attracts hummingbirds. And then this is a bellflower, and I've never planted that before, but we thought it looked so pretty that we couldn't resist picking it up. Okay, so we also have back in the back here a daylily that we transplanted, and that does well there, so we're just going to leave that. And we have a couple of pots that we can put flowers in as well if we would like to. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. It's a pretty small space, but I think where we want to start is with the shorter, more heat tolerant and sun tolerant plants here in the front. So do you want these? This is going to get the most sun. Do you want these and that up here, and how do you want them spaced? And then these can kind of go behind because they are full to partial sun.
Maybe one there, one on the other side of that.
Okay.
So maybe these two right there.
Okay, yeah, that looks good.
And I don't know where to put them.
Okay, so the salvia, let's see how tall this gets. And this will come back year after year. It reaches about 2 feet tall and wide, whereas the bellflower, okay, reaches about 8 to 12 inches tall and wide. So I would say that the salvia needs to be behind the bellflower so that it doesn't obscure it. So where would you like these two positioned?
I think that would look good, maybe here,
Okay.
and this could look good. Or maybe this should go here and this should go right here.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay, that's cute.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna get to planting. We may clean up a little bit because there are some leaves here, and just kind of pull a few weeds, but there's not a whole lot to do. And then we'll start our planting. So because this soil has not been worked a whole lot, I'm going to be taking the pickaxe to it, much like I did in a prior video, to help break that soil up, and then we can plant our plants. And what you'll notice when we're planting is that we are, as we pull them out of the containers, breaking up the roots a bit before we plant and knocking some of the excess soil off. And then we'll add our fertilizer into the plant and then place the plant in the hole. Okay, so we've got the plants in the ground, we've cleaned up a bit, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put mulch everywhere. We have, this pine island is all pine straw, but I do like to separate my planting areas and some of the beds that we have around the yard by using mulch. I just think it breaks up the space, and quite frankly, the mulch tends to hold the water better, so I don't have to water as often. So I'm going to spread the mulch now, and we'll see our finished product. Okay, so we have finished our little whimsical garden here. I think it turned out so pretty. And as you can see, we have the sun patients in front, which are so bright and cheerful. And then we have the dahlias over here, which ties in that orange from the sun patients. And then the bellflower, which is looking a little droopy since I just watered it, but I just thought that flower was so dainty and cute. And then the salvia. And we already had this daylily in the back, and so that's going to be taller. And what we've made sure to do is to stack our plants from the tallest all the way down. And then of course ending with these plants that really can tolerate the sun a lot more. And so we made sure to put them in the front where they'll actually get the most sun. Behind here, we have 2 established honeysuckle bushes that's just started or stopped blooming. This one blooms pink and yellow and kind of a peachy color. And then this one back here is a more traditional honeysuckle vine, which is yellow and white. And then in between, nestled in between there, again is the hydrangea, which has also been there for a while. And then just a few things that we've picked up along the way that my daughter put back in its pot. And our little frog, one of 2 frogs. Oh yes, the other one is under here. There he is. And I love how we are placing things in the garden from travels or things that my daughter has liked along the way. It just holds a lot of special memories when we do things like that. And I love how cute and just fun it is, and it makes the space. And I also wanted to point out that when we got these sun patients, we're trying to tie in the space through this fence where we have another pot with some orange as well that is by our hammock. And we will also be turning this space into another small planting space I'm very excited about in the future, and trying to capitalize really more on our shaded areas. As I said, our yard is mostly sun, so we're really trying to take advantage of those shaded areas as well, and we will be working on this space in the future, so stay tuned for that. Here's the garden lit up at night. Love these 2 little lights we have here. One is a multicolored light right there that is shining a spotlight on our hydrangea. All right, good night, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed the small space gardening that we did today in the whimsical garden and got to see some of the things that we've collected over the years together. I truly enjoy every year planting that garden with my daughter. Even though she is no longer little, we enjoy planting that together and picking out the flowers together. So until next time, bye.